It's been a while. I am sorry about that. I'm hopeful that eventually I will get to a place where every time I post a new video, it doesn't have to be a life update video because I'm posting enough for you to know what the hell's going on in my life. Today I just wanted to say hi. I wanted to come sit down and I guess talk to you for a minute just about what's been going on in life. Answer some questions that I know people have had that you've been DMing me on Instagram or on Facebook and things like that. So I think that's just what we're gonna do today. It's gonna be a short one. I'm reluctant to say that this is, my return to YouTube because I'm just doing such a bad job staying over here. But my goal is to do better about that and to actually post content that you guys are interested in. That's not about my life, but is about marriage and motherhood and mental health and all the things that I love sharing about. But first I got to get you back up to speed. Things have been going really, really good. For those of you who haven't caught up on my content in a while, 2 years ago, Charlie, my husband, and we separated. I moved out, got my own apartment. We both spent a whole lot of time healing and working on ourselves. And last year we reconciled and we moved and we got out of our old house. We just felt like there wasn't, you can't heal where you're broken kind of thing. There were bad memories, bad juju there. And so we were like, let's move somewhere else. So we moved into this apartment. We've been living here for a year and things are really good. We just celebrated our 8-year anniversary, which was not an anniversary that we thought we would see a few years ago. So it's been wonderful. My kids are doing great. Roman is 7, Abby is 5. And they'll both be at the same school next year, which I'm really excited about because this last year, Abby was out about a 30-minute drive away from me. So in the mornings, I would take Roman to his school, then come home, get Abby ready for school, and then drive 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. And then when it's time to get her, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. 2 hours just in drive time every day last year. So I'm very excited about them both being in the same school next year. Abby will be in kindergarten, Roman will be in 1st grade. And we're super excited about it. I want to first just go ahead and answer something that people have been asking me a lot lately. And it's relevant to LYMIA brand. So a lot of people have had questions about what's happening with the business and the brand. And the truth is, I don't know. That's all I know how to say. Right now, it's kind of on ice. It's still there. We have sales come in. I'm not sure where people are hearing about LYMIA, to be honest, because I'm not really doing any promoting these days. But we get little sales that come in and I just go and ship it off and all. So it's been nice to have just a little extra income coming in from LYMIA brand, but it's certainly not at the place it was a few years ago where, I was making a living off of it and paying employees and they were making a living off of it. We're just not there right now. In fact, it's been really interesting over the last probably 6 months. I've been seeing, I refer to the Sensible Mama / LYMIA brand as like a small business, but that operated a lot like a larger business. And because we were in a situation where I had a lot of overhead, I had the enormous warehouse, I had employees, I had a whole lot of software that we were paying for, all of these things. I feel like when the economy shifted, it hit me really early on, and it didn't hit smaller brands, not in the baby space. I'm just talking about in general. Smaller businesses who didn't have as much overhead didn't get hit by it back then. At least not as bad as I did, to the extent of like having to shut down a warehouse, having to let employees go, working with those employees to help them figure out what their next steps are going to be. And all of that was incredibly discouraging because I felt like, why is this only happening to me? I was in this weird space where in the baby industry, I wasn't in a financial space like, Itsy Ritzy and 12 Little and Jujubee like that, where they could kind of write it out without making big changes. But I wasn't small enough to where like, oh, I don't have any overhead, so it's not really gonna impact me. I just kind of was like, just in that terrible middle spot, and I was discouraged. But one of the things that Charlie had kind of talked me through was like, Amber, we're just gonna put the business on ice. We're gonna minimize your expenses as much as possible, and we did. And we're just gonna ride out the economy. And when we're ready, we'll turn marketing back on, we'll turn production of new things back on, and it'll be great. And so that's where I've been for like on the LYMIA front for the past year. I had all these big plans to get new things into production. And it just kind of, every time I would have a sale and get a little bit of money in the bank for LYMIA brand, I would then be like, I don't really think I want to have to put massive numbers of stuff into production, because I've talked about this before, but when you're producing things like diaper bag, there's like it's called an MOQ, minimum order quantity, and it's huge numbers. And I was like, I can't justify putting things into production that may not sell, at such a high volume, that may not sell, because the economy, who's buying extra diaper bags when the economy is what it is. So for the most part, I've just been selling off the inventory that we already had, but I am looking forward to getting into a place, and I don't know when that will be in the future, where we'll put things back into production and have launches and all that stuff. But it's been an interesting journey, because just now, I think the smaller businesses are also starting to get impacted. And I've seen a few of my friends who have businesses, like one of them has a sticker shop, one of them has her own makeup line, and they are now experiencing what I experienced a year ago. And so I guess while I'm here, just to give a little word of advice or encouragement to anyone who might be in that. That was a disaster. That's my dog who doesn't listen. Hey! As I was saying, if there's any just like encouragement that I could give you, don't close up shop. If there's any way you can scale back your costs, anything, try to do it and just ride out the storm. If you're in a position where you can just put it on ice for a little while, do it. There's always that temptation to just like, okay, we're done, we're out of business, but you don't always have to. There's creative ways sometimes to keep your business alive even when you're not making sales. And that's what I've been working on the last year. So the news with LYMIA is that I don't really know when I'll have more inventory, restocks and all like that, but I will be letting you guys know when I do. And you'll know it because I'll be active on the Instagram page and with emails and everything. So that's that. To give a bit of a like professional career update, earlier this year, I think around in January, I started querying agents, finding out if anyone wanted to represent a book that I had written about miscarriage. And it was all about my experience with miscarriage and the journey that I went through spiritually through that, the way that it rattled my faith, and the way that I sort of had to reprocess things that I believed about God and my relationship with Him. And so I started reaching out to agents, trying to find someone to represent me. And my top pick of agents got back to me within a week, and it was a no. And I was like, oh, rats. And she's like, hey, I have to say no to this book, but could we have a phone call? And I was like, a phone call? Why? It's a no. It's fine. You don't need to, like, I don't need a hug or anything like that. Like, it's fine. But you never turn down a phone call with someone in the industry that you're trying to get into. So I said, sure. And we got on the phone, and she's like, listen, I cannot represent this book because it's niches within niches within niches. She's like, it's for women, and within women it's for moms, and within moms it's for moms who've had miscarriages, and then within that it's for women of faith, and within that it's for people who felt like their faith was disrupted as a result of their miscarriage. And she's like, we're just not going to get no publisher is going to want to take this book on. She's like, but I like your writing and I love your platform, and I was wondering if you could pitch to me a book idea that would really inspire you, that you would feel passionate about, that we could both feel really on board with, and that your platform would support. So the next day I posted up at a coffee shop and I banged out a proposal for a book that is very aligned with what I talk about on social media, which is marriage, motherhood, mental health, self-care, things like that. And this agent, her name is Rochelle, she was like, yes, 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 I am on board. Let's get you signed. So in February, I became an agented author. And then back in June, it's June now. Back in May, I finished writing the book. So it is completely done. It is out on submission with publishers right now. So we're collecting offers and just kind of waiting until they're all in to see what deal to go with. And I'm really excited. It's something that I'm very passionate about. And I'll be talking about it more as I get closer, but unfortunately there's not a lot that I can say until there's something very official in place. So that's all I can say for now. But just know that what it is about is gonna feel very familiar, and the things that you're used to me talking about. Which kind of brings me to the next point I wanted to talk about, which is that I know that you guys miss packing videos. I get messages about that all the time. And all I can say about that is I can't do it. I don't even carry a diaper bag anymore. I carry either, that's my Amari, I carry that, or I carry a trifecta, because I have a 5 and 7-year-old. There's just so little that I need to bring. And occasionally, if we're going out to like the park or something, I'll pack up like my Sophie. But you guys would be so bored with me making packing videos now. And also I've become incredibly unrelatable because people with kids my age aren't packing up diaper bags, and you don't want me trying to remember what stuff I was packing in a diaper bag when they were babies. And so that's just not, I know I said this in my last video, but like, that just can't be what this channel is about. But I'm really excited for the things that I am gonna bring to this. I'm going to be doing this as a video, as a YouTube thing, but also stripping out the audio and using it for a podcast. I'm gonna be bringing Charlie on board. All the things I talked about in my last video and then didn't follow through on because my life has been chaos lately, and I'm gonna talk more about that as the weeks go on. And I really think that that's all I have to say right now. I don't like these reintroduction videos because I feel like they're just a lot of fluff. So I'm gonna end this one. I am going to try to get back on track making regular videos. It is a lot harder now that it's summer, as everyone who is subscribed to this channel understands, because we're all parents. But I'm gonna try. Meanwhile, if you're wanting to see content with me and you're wanting to interact with me, the place I've been busiest right now has been on Instagram. And the reason for that is that when you're writing nonfiction books, you really have to have a very active platform. And the feedback that I have gotten from my agent is like, well, TikTok is great, YouTube is great, you haven't focused enough on Instagram. So I've been over there, being really busy, making a lot of posts, trying to get some growth over there. And what that has meant is I'm very active in my comment sections, very active in my DMs. So if you're wanting to stay in closer touch with me, that is a great place to do it, because I do post every day over there. I also post daily on TikTok, and I have my blog here, amberwardell.com, and I post there almost every day. If not every day, almost every day. And I talk about things related to marriage, motherhood, mental health, my fitness journey, all that stuff. So I am going to tentatively pencil myself in to be back next week. I love you. Love ya. Oh my gosh. Man, that feels weird. Love ya. Mean it always. Mwah. And I'll see you in the next one.